Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I first offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to all of you, because you are Vaishnavas, and therefore you are the most worshipable in the whole universe. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 7th canto, Narada Muni says that the highest religious principle is to give up envy of others. He said there's no other religious principle higher than this. And when Srila Prabhupada, in his commentary of the Bhagavad Gita, talks about nonviolence, he says that nonviolence doesn't just mean not hurting others, but he defines violence in another way. He says that when you have something to give to others that can help them, and you don't do it to the fullest extent that you can, he says this is violence. So nonviolence means to have an objective in life, to overcome envy, so that one can be a real giver to others. I've noticed myself that I hinder my own capability of giving to others because of my own envy of them. I wish that I will succeed and that everyone else won't. There's a sense that if others succeed, it'll make me look bad. Or if I have an idea and then someone else uses the idea, I have to make sure that everyone knows it was my idea. And I won't let it go forward until somehow or other it's marked, trademarked, registered as my idea. But actually all ideas come from Krishna anyway. And all the facility and all the energy comes from Krishna. The life of envy, of competing with other living entities for survival and for being in the center above them, is really difficult. It's a life of struggle. It's a relief to be able to give someone else the center and to be happy about it. Really, this can be achieved when one realizes one's eternal nature, that we're actually givers, we're servants. And that by serving without any motive for ourselves, in fact, it's not possible to serve without motive because we're not dead stones. We actually do have ambition, always, eternally. In the Gita, Krishna says, Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit karete hyavasha karma sarva prakritir jairagunai. That the soul is always ambitious, always moving, always active, desirous. But it's a matter of where we direct our desires. Desire is very powerful because in the material nature, she's fulfilling our desires. It's Krishna, but he gives us over to a step family or a foster family because we don't want to live with him. We want to strike out on our own. This is mentioned in many ways in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like someone who leaves home, goes off into the forest to make it on his own, becomes lost. In devotional service, there's really a change of our desire and an awareness of who's fulfilling our desire. I do an exercise when I go to various teaching programs. Especially in the Bay Area, I've been going to corporate programs. We go to Salesforce and Google and Intel, LinkedIn, to give talks. And there's one guided meditation I do for the employees there where I ask them to sit under a tree. This is more elaborate than that. I take them on a scenario where they can relax and look inwardly, which is rare. We don't get much chance to do that these days, right? Always looking for the next thing externally or watching the progression in my mind of desires, things I have to do next before I can actually stop and look inwardly. It's hard to get off that cycle. So taking a moment to be introspective, which I always appreciated the concept. So I read a letter where Prabhupada was writing a person in India, I think he was a scholar who was inquiring about Krishna consciousness, had some questions. Prabhupada said in one line that I remember that you have to take time to introspect yourself within yourself. So when I take them on this journey, and you can imagine it now too in your mind's eye if you wish, I take them to a verdant field, a meadow actually, and there's a tree reaching out towards the sky. Underneath there's soft grass that you can sit on, and I have them sit down there, and then I describe how the tree is a desire tree. I tell them that there is such a thing, and that the tree itself is benevolent and has no other purpose except to fulfill anyone's desire who sits beneath it. And I have them place themselves in that position, and then I ask them a question that maybe no one's ever asked them before, in a very serious way, in an existential way, which is, what do you want? Actually, when I ask that question, when people are in that meditative state, I notice that there's a little bit of a shockwave psychically that goes through the room. And there's a little more energy being produced because people are rushing to imagine what is it that I want? Because it just so happens if I take time to look inwardly and I actually ask myself that question, what do I want? I might find that there are myriad ideas competing for what I actually want. Possible?
Yes.
Yeah. In the Gita, Krishna talks about how a person whose life isn't focused, vyavasayatmika bhudireke kurunandana bahushaka hyanantascha burayo vyavasayinam, that there's many things that we can chase after. And when it becomes so many-branched, we become frustrated because, well, as I heard once, if you chase two rabbits, you won't get either of them. So then when they come back into the room, that is, consciously, I ask them, what is it that you actually wanted? And most of them admit, I really don't know what I want. So one of the great achievements that one can have in one's life is to decide what one wants. And this is something that everyone's looking for, actually a worthy object to seek in one's life, because what is that object that one could actually desire and know that achieving it, I'll be happy? There's a way in which, since, as we say, a time immemorial, from before I can remember, as living entities, we're all travelers. We're moving through various species of life in different environments, and in all circumstances, we're looking for something. But not finding a worthy object of our meditation or of our desire, something to seek after that we know will actually satisfy us. So the science of Krishna consciousness teaches that Krishna is the object upon whom, when we place our desire, we'll feel completely satisfied. When we direct our attention in our service, we'll also be nourished and satisfied. Krishna says in the Gita, Bhoktaram Jagatapasam. This means that I'm the person who can accept your attention. And whatever you give me, I can absorb it. It's hard for people to take things, actually, because they don't know what to do with them. All the time we find this when we're distributing books. So I don't want to take it. I can't carry it. I'll never read it. I can't read it. I don't have time. I'm not interested. They're not really big takers all the time. Few people have a little taking capacity. What to speak of giving capacity. But Krishna has both unlimited capacity to take anything you give him. That's why he says in the Bhagavad Gita, you want to start your spiritual life? He says, Yakoroshi arashnashi johashi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurushva manarpanam. Whatever you're doing now, he said, and whatever you have, just offer it to me. I don't care what it is. That's a place to start. Because he can accept it, he can digest it. That's what Bhoktaram Jagatapasam means. Whatever you give me, I can take it if you just give to me. So he's the supreme taker, and that's rare. I mean, people have tried to spread religious movements around the world. And basically, people said, I don't want it. And they said, no, take it anyway. And then there's bloodshed. It's not so easy even to get people to take things. Krishna's that taker who can take anything that you give him. And then he says that I own everything anyway. I'm controlling everything, and I'm the best friend. So our mission really is to give up envy in our hearts, and not just for other living entities, but for ourselves. It's a way in which we can become disgusted with ourselves. We have to be merciful to ourselves and to others and give up envy. This is a great relief. And then to engage in the process of giving. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's definition of the Krishna consciousness movement. Jive doi Krishna nam sarva dharma sar. He says that the highest dharma is to give people mercy, give mercy to all living entities by widely distributing the holy name. And so, if we do these two things, we give up envy ourselves, and we also try to distribute Krishna consciousness to people as much as possible, everywhere. Then we'll feel satisfied and happy. This is the greatest kind of tapasya, is to give one's life for giving mercy to others and arranging our lives so that we can purify our hearts and give up envy of other living beings. And now I'll take a few reflections. That means anything that you heard that stuck in your mind. Okay. 30 seconds. You'll get a microphone.
So one point that is really stuck to my mind is that the fact that if you give anything to Krishna, he will even accept it. I mean that's just really amazing, because when you go out anywhere, having the desire to give something to someone, they may not take it, and then
Good, that's good.
He'll take anything.
You're good. Your 30 seconds, you made a powerful point. You have good thoughts and good thought processes, and then finding out how to package it and just hand it over. You're doing good. So this is an excellent point about how Krishna can take and he can digest, and if we give our attention and we extend ourselves to Krishna, just like the stomach, it takes, but then it gives back. So Krishna's always giving back, and he's always fulfilling our desires also. This is another point that I won't go into because I'm taking reflections now. Go ahead. What's the next one? Reflect. Okay. Anybody under 12 can reflect. Everybody else. Do you have something? NASA? No. Okay. Reflect. Keshav?
stuck to my mind is that Krishna, like you said, that Krishna would accept. Krishna says he gives. You give him whatever you want. He doesn't care, and that's Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta priyachati tadaham bhakta viparatam ashnami priyalakina.
Yes, 5 points for extra for putting in a shloka. Okay, keep reflecting back, yes? Please pass the mic.
Well, what stuck to my mind, I have two reflections. The
Yes.
first one is Krishna is the object to whom we place our attention and our desire. And the second one is give up envy and be merciful to ourselves and others.
Yeah, what caught your attention about those? I mean, why did you like those particular points?
I kind of like them because the first one I like is just that because I just choose one, and also it's because the object to whom we place our attention and our desire, that part.
Yeah, we get disappointed when we place our attention anywhere else. It's not really a worthy object of our attention except for Krishna. Therefore, in the Bhagavatam it says, Tasmad, it means therefore. Tasmad ekena manasa, Bhagavan sattvatam bhati, shotavya kirtitavyascha dhyayam pujas chanityada. Therefore, place your attention in Krishna through hearing and chanting and doing devotional service. Because by doing that, then you'll feel satisfied. And also, you'll be perfectly aligned. And there are many subject matters. Shrotavyadini Rajendra, Drinam Santi Sahasraha, Apashyitam Atmatattvam, Gihishu Griyamedinam. There are many subject matters for hearing in this world. How many would you say approximately? What is your name? With the purple. The orange, Nike. How many subject matters are there for hearing in this world, approximately? Give a guess. How many subject matters do you think categories of subject matters do you think people discuss here in Catonsville on a daily basis, on any given day? Have you studied statistics or? Okay, just give a guess. The more specific you make the answer, the more interesting it'll be. You put a number. You can call a friend if you need to. Huh? 180 million? 108 million. That is correct, actually. Very good. Yeah, there's 108 million topics for discussion in Catonsville every day. So this Shukadev Goswami says that the types of discussion don't rise to the level of quality where they'll actually be satisfying to the self. So this is an important point because it's our nature to discuss things, to ask questions, to answer questions. However, when you ask questions about Krishna and you answer questions about Krishna, then you feel happy and satisfied. So one of the great needs of human society is to have some tangible information. Yvonne. Have some tangible information about Krishna. Because then people have something to discuss. So when somebody, for instance, gets a Bhagavad Gita in their home and they read some part of it, then they're given some subject matter that they can actually ask about and discuss that will satisfy them. And yes, use the mic. Use the mic. Mic.
You said Krishna will take anything if you offer, but what if you offer something which is like non-ISKCON inappropriate food?
If it's non-ISKCON and? Not appropriate. Well, those who do know what Krishna wants, as Keshav mentioned, he quoted a verse that's a little more specific than the one I quoted. I said, Yat karoshi yadashnashi as johosi dadasya. I quoted this verse from the ninth chapter. And in this verse, Krishna is actually saying that whatever you have now, offer it. And I'll accept it. In the verse that Keshav said, he said, offer it with love and devotion. That's a little more refined. So in the beginning, Krishna asks everybody to start giving in whatever way they can. Just like when you go on, here, look here. When you go on book distribution, do you accept donations from people?
Yes.
Say yes. Yeah, why do you accept donations from people? Use the mic. We're interested in what you have to
So
say.
you could donate to the temple.
Okay, that's a good answer. But I would go a little deeper into it. The reason that I ask people to give a donation is because when they give a donation, then they develop an interest in the book. It's funny like that. If I give my hard-earned money for something, then I'll walk away and I'll think, what did I just buy? I have a little connection to it because I sacrificed for it. And so that makes it more interesting to me. If somebody just gives me something for free, I'll take it for granted. I may just leave it somewhere. So the reason that I ask people to give a donation, and I tell them this, it's for them, it's not for me. I make it clear that I don't need, right? Scott and I were on book distribution 2 days ago. And when I ask people for donation, I say, I don't need the money. But, he said, when you give something, then it connects you to the previous teachers who have passed it down, and it empowers you to be able to read it. Is that exactly what I tell people?
It is.
Yeah. So people understand that. So in the beginning, we ask people to give whatever they can. And then later, when people get more information about who Krishna is, they become more sensitive about what they give. Shall I give you another example? In the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about how the ideal stage of yoga is to always be thinking of him in love. Then he says, if you can't do that, then practice bhakti yoga so that you can think of him. And he said, if you can't do that, then just give away some of the results of your work. Because what happens then? Like if you put money in the hundi, what happens to the money? Or let's say what happens to you after you put money in the hundi. What do you think?
You get blessings from Krishna.
Yeah, but what are those blessings? If you put money in the, let's just say you have $100 right now. It's all the money you have, and let's say you put it in the hundi right now. Let's say your friends, get around you and they say, "What is your name?"
Krishna.
Okay, so Krishna. So what if all your friends get around you and they say, "Krishna, you got to put that money in the hundi. Otherwise, we're not going to give you any prasadam." And somehow or other, they make you put the money in the hundi, right? And so you put it in there. Then when you go home tonight, what are you going to be thinking about?
The results.
The hundi. Because our mind follows whatever we're attached to. And so Krishna says, give your attachments to me, whatever you have. If you give it to me, then you'll think of me. This is a very practical thing. Another thing that one can realize after you give away something that you're attached to, because attachment means I think it's me. Krishna says in the Gita, Dhyayato Vishayam Pumsam Sangasteshu Bhajayate. If you contemplate something, which means I look at it for a while and I think, I want that, then Krishna says what happens is, it becomes part of you. Sangasteshu Bhajayate means Sangha. It becomes a part, an anga of you. Now you're attached to it. I mean, after all, what's the difference between a kid and your kid? Parents? Better speak up fast. What's the difference between a kid, a child anywhere in the world? Let's say there's a child in Ireland right now. Nilamadava Prabhu. Do you care? What if your child was in Ireland right now? Would you be thinking?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because why? He's a part of you. Why is he a part of you? Existentially, kids are kids, but there's a difference between a kid in Ireland and your kid in Ireland, right? Same with everything. And therefore, when we give something, whatever it is, to Krishna, then we'll think, oh, where did it go? And then we'll also think, and by the way, please turn your cell phones on and turn up the ringer, because tonight there's a special. Loka brought me here, and I've been authorized to say that if your cell phone goes off, you have to buy at least one case of Bhagavad Gitas. Okay? Is that a yes? Say yes. Yes. Oh, I'm not convinced at all. Yes? Yes. Who's our enforcer? One of the kids. Who's going to enforce it? Okay, it's your birthday, right? Yes. Okay, what's your name? Okay, Adi Purush, we're going to send him after you if your phone goes off, and we hope it does. And you're going to pay him, how much for a case, Loka? 111 it will cost you for your phone, so please turn him on. And Loka, if you know anybody's number here, sit in the back and start calling. So when I give away something that I'm attached to, here's a powerful realization that I'll get. One of the first things, once I let it go, you know that little interim where you're thinking, should I give it, shouldn't I give it? And then finally you let it go, you say yes? You ever had that experience? Like if somebody asks you for donation, like in a group like this, and you had to raise your hand to donate. You ever had that happen? Yes. Huh? Yes. A couple people only. Yes. And you're thinking, should I raise my hand? Shouldn't I raise my hand? You ever felt that before? Yes. Yeah? And then what happens? All of a sudden you raise your hand. And you're thinking, God, I hope he doesn't see me. And you're thinking, should I give the 500 or should I give the 1,000? And then you go, something inside you says, give the 1,000, because you get carried away by the energy. Give the 1,000. And then there's that kind of exhilaration for a second. And then you start thinking, oh my God. But then what happens after that? All of a sudden you realize I'm still alive. There's many more thousands hanging around the universe. Wasn't mine in the first place. You get philosophical. And then you realize that I can live separately from all the things in the world, because actually none of the things are ours. We've just assumed that they are by looking at them and claiming that they're mine, including this body. It's not mine, nor is anything in relationship with my body mine. And real liberation from the material concept means to understand that. And one of the ways Krishna says, you're all still listening, right? Is he listening too? Busted. Okay, so one of the things Krishna says is practice giving things away. So he says, even if you can't give away to the Krishna consciousness movement, in the next verse in the 12th chapter, do you have a Gita? Can you get one? Get one real quick. We'll find it together. We'll find the verse. We look in the Gita and we'll find out that Krishna says, just try to be charitable somewhere. Because by that, you'll start to realize that I'm not my things. I'm separate from my things. And that's a very powerful experience. No, you look. 12th chapter, Gita. Find it with your friends. The pundit wrote, don't put it on the floor. The pundits get together. What they want is a verse in the 12th chapter of the Gita that explains where Krishna says, you can at least be charitable. So, this is what Krishna says, to give away the things that you have, give them to me, he says. I'll take them off your hands for you. I'll liberate you from those things. And he's the one who can give back to you, like the stomach gives back to the rest of the body. One or two more reflections. Time, Luca? What? Almost, okay. Do we have an adult anywhere in the room who would like to? Yes. Okay. Please give Radhika Nam the mic right there.
Maharaj, can I ask a question or is it just a reflection?
Yeah, you can ask a question.
Whenever we hear the word envy within spiritual circle, and especially in Krishna consciousness, it's not just the regular envy which we hear of. Could you reflect which all places and how do we reflect envy in our lives? Sometimes we might feel that I'm a very good person and I don't feel envious towards others, but still our existence in the material world needs envy. So, how do we reflect envy in our life and how can we get over it?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in his bhajan, Amara Jivana, he says, when I see other people successful, then no matter what I portray myself like externally, internally I'm not so happy. And when I see other people fail, externally I may say, oh, too bad, but internally I'm thinking, great. It makes me look better. There's a sense we can get that when others excel, we might feel unhappy. Why not me? And it's really about thinking that I need to be the center instead of thinking that I'm the servant of the servant. Okay, come over. Did you find it? Yeah. You did? Okay, let's see. 12th chapter?
Yeah, text 8.
Okay. Text 8 says, just fix your mind upon me. Text 9 says, if you cannot fix your mind upon me, then follow the principles of Bhakti Yoga. 10 says, if you can't practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then try to work for me. And then 11 says, if, however, you're unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. And in the purport, Prabhupada says that if you can't work in the context of Krishna consciousness and give things away, at least you should be charitable, because this starts the growing process. Let's give a thunderous round for this pundit. Good job. I think you have a career. No, it's a real career. If you make a career of studying Bhagavad Gita and being able to quote from it, then you'll never want for anything in your life. In fact, there are many different kinds of careers you can have, but there is no more important career than this. And that is learning the Bhagavad Gita inside and out. You're listening, right? Learning the Bhagavad Gita inside and out and teaching it to others. What would be the benefit of that? According to the Bhagavad Gita itself, for 20 points. Prabhu, you tell me.
I think you'll get punya.
Microphone. According to the Bhagavad Gita, what's the great benefit of teaching Bhagavad Gita to others?
Your religion will spread and you'll get punya.
I'd need a verse to back that up. I said it has to be in the Bhagavad Gita, and so maybe, but I want to hear something tangible. Prabhu. Okay, give him the microphone. This is important because this is a center of our movement, Bhagavad Gita. So we want to know why we're doing it.
It's from the 9th chapter, verse
Means?
that you'll be happy, joyfully.
Okay. If you know more, say more. Somebody please. By distributing Bhagavad Gita, by teaching Bhagavad Gita to others, what does Krishna say is the result? Pundits?
Krishna is most
Close.
pleased, Krishna is most pleased by distributing the Krishna consciousness to others.
Prove it. Verse.
Is in 18th chapter, I don't know exactly the number.
Go get the Gita. I told you you get a career. You might as well just keep it with you. And that goes for everybody. You might as well keep a Bhagavad Gita with you because...
1868 and 69.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, he called a friend. He got it. Did you hear what they said? 18th chapter, which verse?
68.
68. Okay, look it up. Give him the mic. He's going to read it. Work with me, people. 18th chapter. It's the last chapter. Just go to 1868. You know, it's good if you get familiar with the Bhagavad Gita. When you make points, look them up. And if friends of yours make philosophical points, demand that they back it up by Bhagavad Gita. It'll enrich your life by 72%. Okay? Give it. Read the Sanskrit.
Yaita parva kya bhaktasya avidasyati bhakti bhaya para krutva bhav eva dishi asa saya.
English, please.
For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is granted.
Next verse, read the English. Okay, keep going. And
at the end he will come back to me.
Next verse. English. Yes, please.
There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear.
Thank you very much. So, practice a lot, looking up stuff in Bhagavad Gita, okay? All of you. And so final point is, best career move you can make is to learn the Bhagavad Gita, teach the Bhagavad Gita. And anybody can do it. All you have to be is truthful. Just repeat what you hear. It'll be the greatest benefit for society. And the other thing that you can do, in addition to that, is to get as many Bhagavad Gitas as you possibly can. And make sure that they go out to the world. Because humans like books. What do humans like?
Books.
Humans like books. They do. Humans love books. And if you make these books available to people, you'll save them a lot of trouble from discussing the 1,000,008 other subject matters that simply disturb their minds, and you'll give them something tangible to talk about. So, my deepest gratitude to all of you for maintaining this beautiful community. You can see the manifestation of this temple is what's in your hearts, which is well organized, which is efficient, which is devotional, which is beautiful. That's what's in your hearts. Please distribute that to the world through the medium of Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of the Parampara, and make everybody happy. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. A big round of applause for
Good.
Isn't it so impressive that our next generation is so capable and so interested in this knowledge and learning it and studying it and sharing it with others. A big round of applause for our beautiful next generation. Thank you all. I hope that you have brought your wallets today. I'm just joking.
No, you're not.
This is a night of begging for Krishna, and this is a night where we come together. Baltimore Temple is recognized all over the world as a giver of this knowledge. And throughout the world we are celebrating this month of giving. Be a giver campaign. And many times when we think that we are giving, something is going out. We are, as Prabhu was saying, our mind follows it. But in this giving, when we give for Krishna, when we give to spread this knowledge, actually Krishna starts following us. And this is a great place to be chased by Krishna. Because Krishna is very anxious to save all living entities. Just like if we found out today, if our child is traveling, say somewhere in Europe or South America, and we don't hear back from them. And then we find out for some unforeseen reason, it wasn't their mistake, but they end up in some prison in some place, and you have nowhere to contact them. And how anxious we would be. We'd be so anxious. If somebody could arrange to send a letter from you to the child, or from the child to you, how grateful we would be. And this is an anxiety that Krishna takes for all living entities who leaves the spiritual world and decides to loiter in this material world. So through this Be a Giver campaign, we are trying to relieve Krishna of this anxiety. And when doing this, when taking on Krishna's anxiety, we ourselves become free from all anxieties. And this is the Giver campaign. So we have many ways that you can be a giver. We have different levels where you can give to place these Bhagavad Gitas. We have been sending Bhagavad Gitas in thousands all across North America. This year itself we have sent 15,000 Bhagavad Gitas to motels, hotels, so many more to prisons, libraries, rehab centers, juvenile centers, colleges, and a wide distribution of prasadam to all these different places. And it requires a combined effort of the whole community, which this community is expert at doing, coming forward and giving to spread this knowledge. So Vaisesika Prabhu is our leader and champion, and to encourage us, every year he goes to Govardhan, and besides the retreat that he goes into studying Srimad Bhagavatam every day for many, many hours, he also takes the time out to go around these very holy kundas and holy places around Govardhan and Vrindavan, and he took these neck beads, tulsi neck beads, and he prayed for all of us with this, on these neck beads in these kundas, and so that we can get the blessings. So I'm just going to show a short video where he's actually praying for all of us, and then I'll show you the different levels where you can participate and give from your heart. Thank you.
I'm standing under a Kalpavriksha tree here at Surabhi Kund. And this tree will fulfill any desire that a devotee may have. It's hard to know which desire to have. Maharaj said, if you desire to give me any benediction, please give me the benediction that I won't have any material desire in my heart, only desire to serve you life after life. That's the best desire. Here we have the Samadhi of Sankirtan Das, who gave his whole life to distributing books and spreading the holy name all over the world. And all the devotees who give their life to Sankirtan will always have shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Holy Dham.
Hey Krishna, Hey Yadav, Hey Saketi, Govinda Damodara, Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara.
At this place, anyone who begs for forgiveness for past mistakes will be forgiven by the all-merciful Lord Sri Krishna. Uddhava was so close to Krishna. Krishna depended on him for advice. He sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to see the devotion of the people of Braj. And Uddhava was so overwhelmed that he prayed that he could simply stay here as a clump of grass and take the dust from their lotus feet, the residents of Braj, upon his head. We're distributing that same knowledge that brings people to Vrindavan. This is the most important mission on the planet, to give the transcendental knowledge to the people of the world through Srila Prabhupada's books that actually connect them to Vrindavan. It's inconceivable how the world in its most fallen state can be receiving the highest benediction. Here at Uddhava Kund, we're praying for the success of the Sankirtan movement. I'm going to take these beads that we're offering for all the Sankirtan devotees around the world and place the sacred water of Sri Uddhava Kund upon them, praying that Sri Uddhava will bless you with a desire to live in Sri Vrindavan Dham, Gaur Premanande Haribo. We're offering these Tulsi Mala to Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, who is very dear to Srila Prabhupada. May anyone who wears these mala be empowered to have the intelligence to defeat the materialistic scientists.
Flows like a river.
May anyone who wears these beads be protected always from anarthas that block one's path in devotional service. Dear Sri Lord Nrsimhadev Jai Prahlad Maharaj, please empower us to spread the Sankirtan movement all over the world. Please give us the strength to overcome all obstacles, to always cooperate with one another in order to spread the Sankirtan movement for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for considering our request. Vaisesika. Jai Shri Narahari Ki Jai. Hare Krishna from Sri Radhakund. We're praying for the mercy of Srimati Radharani. By pleasing Srimati Radharani, one can very easily please Krishna. Srila Prabhupada told us that Srimati Radharani is especially pleased when we help others come closer to Krishna. This means the Sankirtan movement. We're praying here at Radhakund that everyone who wears these beads will be empowered to spread the Sankirtan movement all over the world by the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Just after dipping these beads in Radhakund, now we're going to place them in Sri Shamakund.
Will I always be a stranger here in the heart of sacred beauty? You say this road can lead me home.
We're offering these beads to Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who is one of the leaders of our Sampradaya. May he empower everyone who wears these beads and who participates in the Sankirtan movement to have success in devotional service. Hare Krishna. Dear Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, please give us the strength to spread the Sankirtan movement. Thank you for considering our request. Hare Krishna.
Is this place divine?
We are here at the Bhajan Kutir of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, begging for his blessings to all of the devotees who are engaged in the Sankirtan movement. May they meet with great success in all of their endeavors.
Here we are at the Bhajan Kutir of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, praying for his causeless mercy. We'll be pressing these beads to the dust from this holy samadhi. May all those who wear these beads be inspired to chant Hare Krishna 24 hours a day.
Flows through me. May it always be.
Dear Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, please give us the strength to spread the Sankirtan movement all over the world. Thank you for considering our request.
Flows like a river to the sea. May it always be. Your grace.
Here at Govardhan Puja 2018 at Govardhan Hill, as we're offering Go Puja, in the assembly of all the Vaishnavas, I hereby read the names of all the devotees who significantly helped to place Bhagavad Gitas all over the world. Sri Krishna Purushottam Dasa Aparna Lakshmi Ramanujan Chaitanya, Hansapriya Devi Dasi, Ananda Chaitanya Das and Rasa Devi Dasi, Prabhat, Samya, Saurabhatiya, Satyabhama Devi Dasi, Shashank and Mukunda.
Govinda Hey Krishna, Hey Yadav, Hey
I've received such a great gift. This is the lota that Srila Prabhupada brought with him on the Jaladuta. It was recently loaned to me by a very dear godbrother, who asked me to take it around and show it to those who are willing to make a sacrifice to expand the Sankirtan movement, to catch their own Jaladuta. This is a very powerful item brought by Srila Prabhupada personally on the Jaladuta to New York City, now coming to you very soon.
Hare Krishna, big round of applause to His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu for taking the trouble, for bringing these special beads for all of us. We not only have these beads, but we also have dust from the holy dham. One of our acharyas said that this dust from Vrindavan there is no value to it. It's more valuable than all the wealth in the world. Can you take a guess how much wealth is there in this world?
108 billion.
108 million?
108
Billion. Okay, anybody else? Take a guess. It's not going to cost you that much, so don't worry.
5 trillion.
5 trillion, okay?
65 trillion.
65 trillion, getting closer. Anybody else? Samriddhi. I couldn't hear. Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu.
108 trillion.
108 trillion. Okay, one last one, Adi.
70 trillion.
70 trillion. So if you Google infinity, yes, the value comes, and I don't know how much. This is just the white wealth, right? Not the black wealth. So the white wealth is calculated at 370 trillion. Okay, and even one particle of Vrindavan's dust is trillions of times more valuable than all the wealth, not only on this planet but all the creation. So we have this dust from different places like Surbikund, Radhakund, all around Govardhan, Ter Kadamba, Vindakund, and it's all here. And the best use is you can put one on your desk. Okay, so anytime you can start your day, just put a little bit of dust on your head, and just see how your boss handles you after that. Okay, this is real power that can keep our consciousness in Krishna. So Prabhu, so this is our opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to participate in this campaign of sending Bhagavad Gitas. For $251 donation, you get one of these holy beads that are dipped. For 501, you get 2 set of neck beads, and you also get, we do a special puja for you in the 6 temples founded by the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. 1008, you get 4 neck beads plus the puja in Vrindavan, plus we'll go in Jagannath Puri and put a flag on top of the Jagannath temple for you and bring it back for you. That flag has a very special quality, that the flag always blows in the opposite direction of the wind. You never see that anywhere. The flag always blows in the opposite direction of the wind. And if the pujari misses, it's like 47 stories high, and a boy climbs up the top and changes the flag every day. If they miss the flag even one day, it is said, then the puja will stop at the Jagannath Puri temple for 18 years. For the last 1800 years, they have never missed one day. So it's a very special flag to keep with you in your house, because it brings Jagannath Puri into your house. So 2008, as Vaisesika was showing, you get 8 neck beads, all of the above, and plus a yagya in your name, in your family's name, in Govardhan, and go puja. So this is an opportunity to, last year, we together as a community in Baltimore, we got sponsorships for 175 cases. And we are praying that today we can go to 200 cases. What do you guys think?
Haribol!
Louder. Haribol! Okay, so let's get going, because dinner is getting cold and we don't want to spend too much time here. Okay? Yes, Prabhu.
I'll take 501.
501 Vrindavan Seva for Shyam Krishna Prabhu. Haribol! Prabhu, please, you can come. Where is my CPA? Please, Prabhu, come here. You can come here in the front. we need a mridanga player who can play like they have won a lottery just now.
You better come up. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, please come.
Hare Hare.
So you get the special Jaladuta lota on your head, plus the neck beads.
Can my wife also get it?
Yes, please invite her. Jayanti Mataji, please come.
Hare Krishna. How many beads?
2, 1 for wife.
She's coming.
Anybody else? Next. Yes, Mataji. 251 for Uma Mataji, Radha Kund Seva. Haribol. Please come. And one of these.
One of these two. Mataji?
Vrindavan dust.
Hare Krishna.
Next.
Tell me how many you give.
For Bhakta Scott from Delaware. 251 Radha Kund Seva. One.
Hey, Bhakti Siddha. Haribol.
Scott.
Hare Krishna.
Who wants to go next?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hare Hare. So recently, I went to a prison in Arizona to visit an inmate there who's chanting 64 rounds a day for the last 10 years. He's in for life. And he's teaching Bhagavad Gita inside. And so I was taken in and out by the chaplain, and on the way out, the chaplain said, you know, your man in here is teaching a lot of people about Bhagavad Gita. We need more Gitas. I said, how many? He said, about 350 more. And this is happening all over the world. But I want to tell you something. Although we distributed 500,000 Bhagavad Gitas through Motel Gita, which is where much of this money goes to distribute Bhagavad Gitas, the Gideon's Bible people are doing much more than us. And I don't know if you want to stand for that and have us be a tiny little fraction of the number of Bibles that are going out in the world. But the way they do it is everyone does a little bit of their part, and it comes out to a lot. So if everyone gives a little bit, then we can spread this all over the world with Bhagavad Gita. You want me to count down?
Yes.
It should be illegal, but I'll try.
Legal in the temple.
Because our time is limited, and I know a lot of you would like to help, but maybe are waiting for this. To count down from 10. And when we get to 0, we'll have to stop the yajna. And just one note about that is the concept of preemptive giving. I mentioned that we actually don't have anything. Whatever things we think we have will be taken away, true or false. True. So if we wait till they're taken away, we don't get any credit. But if you give some of it away before it's taken away, then you get credit eternally. So preemptive giving means give before it's taken. That's smart. Name, please.
51, Kiran Shah.
Kiran Shah, 251 Radha Kund Seva.
Manjula, my wife. Manjula.
We're only going to be here for a few more minutes, so if you can help out, but every time someone raises their hand, you have to say Hari Bol as loud as you can, okay? Everyone? Krishna 10, Krishna 9,
I'll give you this later.
Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna 0.5,
Hari Bol Prabhu. We have a hand here. 501 for Advaita Prabhu. Hari Bol. Yep.
Now that Hari Bol was, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was about a 4. Let's say we get to a 5 on the next time. It's just a little bit more than you did. Okay, you ready? Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6. What happened? Name?
Samba Prabhu. Samba Prabhu. Hari
It was 4.5. So you did 4.5, so we'll almost be at a 5 next time. The Hari Bol's got to be a little louder. You guys help out in front, okay? All right? Ready? Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6,
That's your wife.
Krishna 5, Krishna 4.
I think you did 5, right?
What happened? 501 for Vilma.
That's okay. That's okay.
That was 4.6. You got a little ways to go. You got to really, really get into it, okay? Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5. What happened? Manana Murari.
Hari Bol. He just gets a lot. He is a proxy.
We're back to about a 3.5.
You don't get it. Just
Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna
he already got it. Yeah. He already. I already gave him already.
Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point. What happened? What happened? What is it? Where? I don't see any hands. Okay, name?
Please come. Roshni Patel Mataji. Hari Bol.
Krishna.
Which one, Mataji?
Krishna.
Which one?
Krishna.
Which seva? 251.
More partial. 5, Krishna
251.
4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1. What happened? Is that
Mataji,
legitimate
Mataji.
Hari Bol? Where is it? Did someone raise their hand? Oh, okay, name?
Name Mataji?
Kalpana.
Kalpana Mataji. Hari Bol.
251?
Yeah.
Online is coming from all directions now.
You get only one for 251.
Another I realize this is a little dangerous because I have my eyes closed when I do this. I can't see which raise their hand, and I could hit 0, and then I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
I know one thing, Loka's going to be really sad, and I don't want to see that. But so I'm closing my eyes when I do this, and I could hit 0 at any time. Okay? Just be aware, I'm not looking around. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point
Hari Bol.
1,000.
Hari Bol. Vijay Prabhu. Four.
I'm not feeling any Hari Bol from back here, from the back.
We have to set some
Are you
aside for
feeling
the other
left out back
devotee.
there?
Thank you,
Would you
Prabhu.
please try to be louder than this side, okay?
Is
We're
this in
looking
addition
for
to
the
what you
next
did, or
one,
this is the same one?
But this is precarious because my eyes are closed. I know what's going to happen. And please, don't make me go into fractions.
Painful.
It's painful for me. Please don't let me go into fractions. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2.
Hari Bol. Come.
Jai.
For Aryan. Hari Bol.
Okay. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4. Who is it?
Please tell your name, Prabhu.
Radhakun Seva.
What is your name, Prabhu?
Radhakun.
What's your name?
Radhakun Seva.
Yeah, but his name.
Rohit. Rohit Prabhu. Radhakun Seva.
Okay. I need a little help on these high bowls. I'm really not feeling it from you. Especially from this side of the room. I don't know what happened because usually this side of the room's louder, isn't it?
At home.
Yeah? Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Only 2 people are ready.
Haribol!
Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna 4.
Haribol!
Who is it? What happened?
Shri Krishna Prabhu and Gaurav
Let's try this. When
Which
you
one,
say
sir?
Haribol, put your hands way high in the air, okay? It actually works better. Are you all ready? Yeah. Okay. But I'm feeling nervous because I have my eyes closed. If I count down and hit 1, you don't know what's going to happen if I hit 0. We don't know. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4.
Haribol!
Advaita Acharya.
Wait again. Okay, on 3, Haribol. 1.
Jagannath Puri Seva. Haribol! 4.
It's getting a lot better, but I still see a few hands that aren't going up. So next time, 98% we have to hit.
You
Hands
do
up
5,
in the
that's
air,
okay.
Are you with me?
I'll just put this
Say
one back.
yes.
Okay.
Say yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Should I start the countdown?
Yes.
Should I keep my eyes closed even though it's dangerous?
Yes.
Okay. The temple president said yes, so I'm going to do it. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna... What happened? What happened? You need a note from your parents? Get a note?
The
Where's his
parents will
parents?
commit. If he says your parents will commit.
Is that right?
Yes.
We have a guarantee from the temple council. Okay. Oh, his father's right there. Yes? Let's see what he's going to say. No coaching, but... Jai Jagannath.
It's okay?
Which one? Anyone? Radhakun.
Radhakun Seva Purnimachal Prabhu. Haribol!
Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna...
Haribol!
What happened? 1,000. Name?
Bye, Prabhu. Thank you.
Uma Mataji, Jagannath Puri Seva. 1,000 Jagannath Puri Seva. Haribol! 4 of them.
Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3.
It's our second trip up.
Anand Gauranga Prabhu, Girira Seva 2008.
Another
Wow!
Haribol! We'll give it to him later, he's not here.
1, 2, 3.
Haribol!
Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1. Don't make me go into fractions now.
Another 501.
501.
Oh, Dilmada Prabhu. Haribol! Haribol!
Okay, we really are winding down past the point of preemptive giving.
Okay, 1,000.
The opportunity could be
Will
over
1,008
any
now.
second now.
Okay, 4 then.
Don't tempt me. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna
एक बार फिर से कर देना ना, एक बार फिर से 500 कर देना, वो आपके एक कर दूंगा मैं कॉमन।
अच्छा ठीक है।
ठीक है ना, तोड़ के बोलना सर। राधाकुंड सेवा फॉर अविनाश प्रभु। हरिबोल।
taking a vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, that's a majority. Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1.
Hello. One Vrindavan Seva.
Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3. I just wanted to mention to you that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he established his flagship temple in Calcutta, next to the altar, he set up a printing press. On his logo for the Gaudiya Math, one of the most successful organizations in the history of India, he placed the printing press, and above it he put Rag Marg, because he equated the distribution of transcendental literature with a very heartfelt worship of Lord Krishna in a spontaneous way. Those who go out to distribute Bhagavad Gitas know that you're going out to the great unknown to worship Krishna in everybody's heart. This temple is starting to be known as one of the premier temples, not only in North America, but in the world. Not only have you built one of the most beautiful temples I've ever seen, not only do you have some of the brightest kids I've ever met, and the nicest kirtans I've ever heard, but you're also starting to move up the charts way near the top in book distribution. And when you do that, you attract the attention of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya. In fact, I know that as a fact with Srila Prabhupada, because back in the old days, whenever you come to America, you always go to the places that were distributing the most books. And the trick in Bhakti Yoga is to attract the attention of the great devotees and of Lord Chaitanya. And this is one of the best ways to do it, what you're doing here by putting your energy into book distribution. So I thank you very much for because we're almost out of time, I'm going to have to limit the number of countdowns we do. I'm very sorry for this.
We have another hand up.
We have another hand up. Yes. 2,000! Are you guys still with me up front? You pundits?
I might as well give all my bags to her.
The pundits in the front row? Okay, here we go. You ready? Say yes.
Is this an addition to or total? Is this an addition to what you did earlier?
1,000, 2,000 and
251.
What happened? Look what happened. This is a big event. They just raised their hand in the back here. Let's see what they say. Who is it?
Swaroop.
Sarup. Radhakund?
Which one? Radhakund Seva for Swaroop.
1, 2, 3.
Take one more. Take one more.
Was that anonymous? It was anonymous hours last time? Was it anonymous hours last time?
Okay. Haribol! Oh, she's getting more. But Vanita, Sukumaran.
1, 2, 3.
Which one? Vrindavan Seva.
By the way, I wanted to mention to you, I went to Vietnam not too long ago
Thank you,
to
Vanita.
get the Bhagavad Gita printed in Vietnamese. When we got off the flight, the few BBT devotees that were there, we were told by a couple of local devotees to be careful. Because if we were seen distributing books anywhere there, we might end up in the police station, and that could be very serious. We had to go through years of having the books looked at, gone through to make sure there was nothing subversive so they could get a government stamp, so they could go in the bookstores. We can't walk around and sell them. Now here in Baltimore, we have freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. This is a very rare thing you can't take for granted. We have a small window of opportunity right now in history where we're able to take full advantage of it. You're the ones who have been chosen to do this. That's why you're here. You're placed here by Lord Chaitanya.
Should we
Mahaprabhu.
open single
So
cases
feel
now?
free to, with full
Should we open
abandonment,
single
give
cases?
yourselves the Sanctime movement. I'm already down to 4, so keep in mind that I don't like fractions.
Loki, you want to make an
Maybe let's just do one more cycle.
Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point 25, Krishna point 125, Krishna point 125.
Haribo! One Radha Kunseva.
Krishna announcement.
So, if you like, you can also sponsor 1 or 2 cases. 1 case is 111, 2 cases is 216. But if you want to do 2, I would recommend go for 251 because that way you get these neck beats also.
There's another.
Haribol, Uma Mataji. 500.
Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna
Ramchandra, Krishna Venu Prabhu. 251 Radha Kunseva. Krishna point 5, Krishna point 25, Krishna point 1.25, Krishna point. Haribol!
Shambhakti.
Shama Bhakti.
Haribol! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7,
I'll just give her the. They already have this.
Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1. We're in suspended animation. This is a gap where free will comes in. Madam Murari! Okay, look at what you can do.
Maybe one more round and then they end it.
One more round, he's only giving you one more chance at this preemptive giving. I don't agree with it, but I have to follow what Loka says. So, I will do it. Are you ready? Last chance. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, point 75.
Haribol!
What?
Anita, Achyuta Radhe. Haribol!
We'll be doing a book case.
कौन सा वाला?
Book case.
Oh, one book. One case.
0625.
This book case.
Yeah.
Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8,
One Radha Kunseva. One Radha Kunseva.
Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1.
Thank you.
Krishna point 5, Krishna point 95, Krishna point 75, Krishna point 65. What?
Okay, I think you can end it.
Go Permanande!
Haribol!
I go Hari
Haribol! Haribol!
I pray that everyone who participated in this yajna today will be able to remember remember Krishna from the time they leave their body and they go back to Goloka Vrindavan. Om Tat Sat.
Haribol!
Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, hey, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman.